Hey everybody, I'm Joe.
Hi, I'm Dee.
I'm Tiera.
Malcolm. And this is Candid at the Movies. This time we're going to talk about the Disney series, the MCU series on Disney Plus called Ironheart. Who's the star?
Riri Williams.
Riri Williams. That's her name. Riri Williams.
Yes.
But this time we're going to do things a little bit differently because normally we don't do spoiler reviews and stuff like that, but we're really interested and excited about talking
This
about
is your moment to click off if you have not seen all 6 episodes.
that part, please.
Spoilers.
We want you to watch
Spoilers.
but after you get done watching it, come back and watch this, please. All right? Cool. All right. So for all the spoiler people, we'll be talking about spoilers in 3, 2, 1. All right, spoiler folks. Malcolm, I want you to introduce your idea.
It's a great movie.
Yeah, so I have this like really crazy theory that Marvel might actually have a plan. It depends on how they really kind of bring it together in Doomsday and like Secret War saga. But like the dopest idea that they've really kind of thrown out with Phase 4 and 5 is essentially the idea of the Infinity Stones being reborn.
Right.
And the way they kind of introduce that concept is, we all live off the theory that, energy is never really destroyed, it's always redistributed.
Right.
So with that concept, guys, I'm thinking like, we've seen in Loki where he's essentially becomes the god of stories through manipulation of time. So you see like the essence of the time stone kind of being drawn to him. You're seeing these like incredibly powerful beings come out of the 616 and this becomes the drawing attention. All the events that are probably about to take place with Doomsday and like Secret Wars. So also with Loki being the first example of like being reborn as the Time Stone, you then have Wanda, who's a rebirth of the Reality Stone, maybe even along with like Wiccan. It's like they both can manipulate reality to a point where they're making these huge crazy changes. Like saving people, saving souls, being able to kind of like converge through the multiverse, and all of these because of like the non-existent reality stone.
Right.
Then you also run into the situation of like you got Monica Rambeau and the Marvels who have now broke the boundaries of their own dimension and have entered into the multiverse just being Marvels and trying to contain the whole situation with all the events that took place at the end of the Marvels essentially. With the incursions and them trying to seal up the dimension because something possibly happened. And then you run into a situation where we're seeing a representation of the Mind Stone through kind of like Wiccan and actually, hold on, I wrote all this stuff down. Wiccan and Sentry at that because the Mind Stone is like deals heavy with powers around like manipulating the mind and heart. These two individuals in the MCU are like perfect examples of the Mind Stone reincarnated. So, and then you're getting the Power Stone and like Adam Warlock and Sentry because now you're seeing these like super duper overpowered characters kind of just appear out of nowhere who probably could have contended with Thanos with no issue. And also we could probably throw Captain Marvel in the mix for that as well with the way her powers are developed.
Her powers are straight up from the stone.
And this is the interesting part because it was always like, well, this theory won't hold too much weight if they really don't introduce the Soul Stone. And that's where we have Riri Williams. Where we see, what does it take to get the Soul Stone? A soul for the soul. And we see this story cultivated through Ironheart. And I think it's just a beautiful tragedy overall. But I don't know what they do with it, but I think that's where Marvel might be leading us in terms of the events that take place in Doomsday. If they can all bring it together, I think that would be beautiful.
I just got one word to say. Mephisto.
He finally showed up.
Killed it, man.
Special shout out to you, Malcolm, for that theory. I thought that was very
It's a really good theory.
Thank you.
So what did you all think about the story, T, D?
I love the story. Coming from a person who wasn't big on the comics, I got really into it later on in life. I think it was a great story. I love the way they told it. I love the way they focused on her grief, how she dealt with that grief, and how she pushed through it to, first off, go to school, even though she got kicked out of school.
Right.
If you haven't seen it yet.
We're good. We're
But just bouncing back kind of from that when she started working with Parker and building the suit and then rebuilding the suit at the end, and just dealing with all the challenges that she, had. It was a really good show. We watched, WandaVision and Agatha and Moon Knight.
Moon Knight was,
and Loki. We love Loki.
Loki's one of my favorites.
Yeah, Loki is definitely there, and so is Ironheart, to be honest.
Yeah, Ironheart has taken a higher spot for me.
Yeah,
I
think so.
This show is so wonderfully black-coded. I love it so
Yeah.
much. I love that they tapped into her grief, because what is grief but love, nowhere to go. And so, like, even the creation of Natalie was just her love of her friend that she could not express anymore. And so one of the things that I really, really appreciated was, it's one of those things for black women, when you get ready to change yourself, you change the world, you change your hair. And so we're introduced to her with feed-in braids. They're very tight, they're very controlled. It's not until she's actually vocalized her grief and apologized to the people that she hurt that we see her hair free.
Yeah. She was finally able to ask for help.
And she was finally able to ask for help.
She had this big transformation, like you said.
Yeah.
And once she actually started to deal with it, she felt like she was free. So I found that was like a beautiful moment of we're watching her make these questionable decisions because she has not tackled her grief.
Yeah.
Now she's tackled her grief. She still made a questionable decision, but her hair is free. She's a little bit more free now.
Yeah. Is Natalie a demon?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
You know what I think it is? It's like, I think the Natalie that came back might be a demon, but I think Mephisto had his hand in this all along.
Yeah.
I think that's the only reason why the Natalie. Yeah. I think that's the only reason why Natalie manifested as an AI. Like, what she was going for was like a Jarvis. What she was going for was the same system that like Shuri has. Rio, right? And then she did something completely different.
But you gotta think about it. Jarvis was Howard Sparks, former butler, I think, or best friend, something.
Someone who confided and trusted.
Exactly. And so Natalie is that for her. It's like so many things that coincide, that coexist to me. You know what I mean? When it comes down to that, I think that Riri Williams, that character, is going to go on to some sort of relevance and importance within the MCU. Has to be after this.
Yeah, absolutely. Can we just take a moment and appreciate the stylists on the show for actually
Give them all the things. Give them all the things.
Black hair looks like black hair.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can tell that Ryan Coogler had hair.
Give him everything.
And his wife too, because I think she gets credit in the credits. I think so. Yep. So
The magic looked good.
Yes.
Yeah, it didn't look.
We were introduced to, or at least for me, I was introduced to Zelma and the concept of Strange Academy. Like, I'm also someone that I wasn't really into the comic books, but now that's like piqued my interest because Riri Williams was amazing. But being able to so casually like talk about the craft as it was just, it's not something that's being introduced, but the way that they've changed it is. And so I'm really curious to see how they continue to have that conversation, because we were talking about it last night. She's already kind of tapped into the dark dimension, and both her and Riri do not know what they're in.
You took the words right out of my mouth. That's exactly what I was about
No idea what's coming.
It's took everything up in the MCU.
I wonder what they're gonna do to reintroduce Wanda. Because with all the magic and the dark hole and all that, I'm like, well,
I think this is a good way for them to reintroduce Rio.
Okay.
Because soul for soul, Rio's not happy because you stole from the Mistress of Death, or Death Mistress.
Death herself.
Death herself. Yeah.
Who Thanos was in love with in the comics.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. All that he was doing.
Everything he did was to
impress
impress
her.
Death. They definitely changed it up for the MCU.
Yeah, very dark. Very dark.
Death was a baddie though.
I mean, hey, you like what you like. I'll keep
Can we take a second also to talk about Parker? I didn't understand his motives until like the very end.
Yeah.
And then it was like, I understand your crash
I
out.
feel
Right.
it. I feel it.
I feel you.
Yeah.
Bad dads.
Bad dads.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, Disney has a thing.
They have a type.
Yeah.
Disney has a type.
Yeah.
Yeah, go to counseling. My God.
Work through that.
Daddy issues is they tight, bro. But,
Absolutely. Bad dads.
man.
But it was also like, again, he did not know what he was signing up for. He just wanted power and respect and to be seen.
That's it.
And that came at a cost of his, gathered family.
Yeah.
Shout out to Shea Coulee. Like,
Yeah.
absolutely
Shea Coulee
amazing.
Did amazingly well.
Yeah.
So did the whole team, honestly. But I was really happy to see Shea Coulee
I need a
in there
bucket
as
hat.
well. Like a bucket hat.
Yeah.
what you need a bucket hat for?
To get like her, yo.
Hey, okay.
What are we feeling for grades?
Oh man. I'll let you go first, Malcolm. I got this.
As
I
guest
give
of the
it,
show.
Ironheart for me gets an A. I love it. I absolutely am obsessed with the story. All superhero stories do not always end well, and it's like, Marvel is giving us a touch of like, what you really want. You're giving a little bit of comic reference. You're giving originality, but then you're also giving like the truth of the matter. Like, all stories don't end with happy endings. And I love that about Ironheart. It's a very like grounded story that kind of like just kind of touches close to home from time to time.
That's a good story. That's great.
I give it an A+.
Okay.
Great story. I love the blackness of it all.
Yeah.
How it was real, real problems, real issues, and real solutions, whether we like them or not. I was excited to see Mephisto.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love him as an actor just in general. So it was good to see him in the MCU. But shame on Disney and Marvel for holding this for as long as
Yes.
Shame.
And also not promoting it the way it needed to be promoted, because y'all been promoting Fantastic Four for months.
they did not promote it as they needed to promote it.
That
But
shout out to Black Girl Nerds who actually did the hard work.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
My score would also be an A+. I love. It felt like a black love letter, and for those who were living in Chicago, they were really excited to be able to say, "Oh, I know that landmark. I know that landmark."
Yeah.
For me,
Except for
again,
that White Castle.
yeah, that White Castle was made up. But for me, it was also personal in the aspect again where it's really tackling grief
Yeah.
and what do you do with it? What decisions do you make with it? Because she also exemplified eldest daughter syndrome, where you gotta figure it out yourself. Even though it's easier for you to isolate yourself and push everyone away so that you can figure it out, even though your family and friends are willing to help. A+.
Everyone, I think that my score will be an A+ as well. It was a great story. It was shot very well. The visual effects really was breathtaking.
Yeah.
If you've ever been to Chicago, like, I just wanted to go eat there. Like, I was ready to go. I think that it did a good thing for the travel, you know what I'm saying, for people who want to travel to Chicago.
I want to go to Chicago for a long time.
Go.
Not in the winter though. That's what I hear.
No, yeah.
Not in the winter. You got to buy a coat from there,
You
or
absolutely
there, like Cat Williams said. I got a whole different story about that, but I'm not gonna be telling that part now. But ultimately, like, it was beautiful. It was black. It was everything I needed it to be. So, where can they find you all? These are great people, by the way.
Yes, they are.
This
They're
is one of my
amazing.
best friends, and her boo. You know what I'm saying? And they're great people. And, we love to just come and hang with them. Their hospitality is great. So thank you all for hosting us again. Where can they find you?
You can find me, I guess, on Instagram, Adorably Sweet. But I can't remember my Twitter right now, so it's fine. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me there, and you can find me on Threads.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, not YouTube, but probably on YouTube at ikens.com. I mean, not .com, but, Sorry, I had that jig.
It's
coming.
coming. It's coming.
It'll be there soon,
But thank you all again for coming to share with us. Please click that like, share, and subscribe, as well as hit that notification bell for everything that is Candid. Y'all take care and have a fantastic day. Peace.